Birdland Tonight is your place for Orioles post-game coverage for fans by fans. All of the hosts on Birdland Tonight are Oriole fans that are either writing blogs or doing podcasts about Orioles. Head on over to birdlandtonight.com to learn more about the hosts and other shows and websites that they're a part of. And head on over to Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch and subscribe, follow, or like, whatever the appropriate thing is, to Birdland Sports. Finally, share, retweet, and tell your friends about Birdland Tonight so that we're all joined into the conversation after every Orioles game this year. We'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. Head on over to the comment sections on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube to start interacting now. We'll see you soon. Did you know Birdland Tonight is also a podcast? Head on over to your favorite podcast app and subscribe to Birdland Tonight to get the audio of this show every morning ready for your commute. Thanks for joining us. We'll get started in just 1 minute. Make sure that you have subscribed to us on your favorite social media. Look up Birdland Sports on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Like, follow, retweet, share. See you in a moment.
Hello. This isn't fun. The rebuild is, I guess it's on track, but man, this team is hard to watch. Welcome back to Birdland Tonight. This is our first show in just about a week. I think all of our hosts have just been sad, to be completely honest with you guys. It has been a rough stretch for the Orioles. Losers now of 14 out of their last 16. But the good news is The minor league teams are doing very well, and if the season ended today, the Orioles would have the first pick in the 2022 Major League Baseball draft, which, I guess you take the good with the bad. We kind of expected this out of the rebuild, but man, this is a bad baseball team right now. The bullpen came out tonight and ruined John Means' day, unfortunately. I hope you all like my shirt, by the way. Shout out Jonathan Scope. Bullpen came out and ruined John Means' day after DJ Stewart put us ahead with a 2-run homer after a 45-minute rain delay. But unfortunately, Tanner Scott not able to throw a strike. Cesar Valdez comes in and gets hit around. Tyler Wells comes in, not much better, but able to get out of the jam after a 6-run 8th inning for the Minnesota Twins. And then the Orioles go down relatively easily in the top of the 9th. That still happens, 26 years old, voice crack. Top of the 9th, Orioles go down easily, and that'll do it. An 8-3 loss for the Orioles' 7th loss in a row. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Rays have won 11 in a row, so opposite ends of the spectrum in the American League East. The Norfolk Tides, all of the Orioles minor league teams idle today, by the way. Nobody in action on this Monday evening. The Norfolk Tides are 4-14 on the year, so not much better going on in AAA. Not a whole lot to write home about. But if you go below that and you keep searching, there's a lot of good baseball going on. The Bowie Bay Sox are playing very well, as are the Aberdeen Ironbirds and Delmarva Shorebirds. And a lot of the guys on the top 30 list are performing very, very well, which is certainly exciting to see. And I'm going to pull up a thread that I tweeted out from my Orioles account earlier this morning. I kind of wanted to break down a little bit of, when the major league team is this bad, right? But you have hope for the future. You want to follow the minor leagues. You want to pay attention to what's going on down there. And you want to see what there is to be excited about in the future when the time does come for these baby birds to come up and perform. So again, like I said, Bowie and Delmarva both have 13 wins on the season. They're doing very well. Here's a comment I'm going to pull up. Jordan Westbrook, player of the week. Grayson Rodriguez was the pitcher of the week. So a lot to be excited about there. But I'm going to go ahead and read off some of the statistics going on, because I wanted to make a thread. I was kind of getting into this. You can look up the stats yourself and go affiliate by affiliate and see who's doing well. But I wanted to break down the top 30 prospect lists and kind of just put it in order and show their stats through 3 weeks of this season. And there's a lot to be excited about. You start at the top with Adley Rushman. His on-base percentage, .432. We saw him hit a game-tying 3-run homer in the 9th inning against Richmond just the other day. 445 feet, I believe, was the distance on that home run. So Adley certainly looks comfortable at the plate. That was his 4th home run on the year, and he has just one more strikeout than walk. So an 18 to 17 K to walk ratio for Adley. So a good start for him. You might perhaps expect a little more on the batting average side, only hitting .246. But at the same time, like I said, on base percentage, .432. It's hard to be disappointed with someone performing that well. The top 2 pitchers in the farm system, Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall, both continuing to dominate to start the year. Both have pitched between 15 and 20 innings. Grayson Rodriguez has an ERA of 1.47, DL Hall 2.81. Both of them are racking up strikeouts. DL Hall, unfortunately, still walking a few guys. He's slowed down a little bit this year, only 8 walks in 16 innings, which still not a great ratio. That's 4.5 per 9. But the strikeouts are there, almost 18 per 9. So a lot to be excited about there with the combination of Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall, hopefully anchoring the rotation in a couple of years. We've said the same thing with Dylan Bundy and Kevin Gosman. We said it with Jake Arrieta, Chris Tillman, Brad Bergeson. The list goes on and on. But it finally feels like we have the player development staff in place to finally take over and have these guys actually come and do well, instead of just thinking, oh, these guys are good players. Well, now we have the guys in place, I think personally, to really take them to that next level. A couple shortstops down in Delmarva, Gunnar Henderson and Jordan Westbrook, both playing very, very well. Gunnar slash line 339, 417, 661. That's an OPS over 1,000. He's got 5 homers and 27 RBIs on the year to go with 3 stolen bases and a lot of opposite field home runs for Gunnar. So that's certainly exciting to see. And Westbrook has, I think, 8 multi-hit games in a row now. His on-base percentage is up to .521. He's got 3 homers and 4 steals on the year. Michael Baumann rehabbing down at Delmarva as well. 5 scoreless innings in his first outing, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Yusniel Diaz on the DL. I'm not going to go down this whole list, but some more names to be excited about. Kyle Bradish still has yet to allow an earned run at Double-A Bowie. 13 2/3 innings pitched, and he has struck out 26 and walked just 5 with a 149 batting average against, 0.88 whip. So Bradish pitching really well enough, in fact, to earn himself a promotion up to AAA Norfolk, where he will make his next start pretty soon. Hudson Haskin, 14th overall prospect, 8 stolen bases on the year. He's slashing 355, 444, 500, a couple of home runs as well. Kevin Smith, the prospect acquired in the Miguel Castro trade to the New York Mets last year. He's doing very well as well. 13 innings pitched, 1.38 ERA, 17 strikeouts on the season. Hasn't been a great start for Alexander Wells, a guy who's performed pretty well despite not having elite stuff. He's got dominant control. That hasn't exactly been the case for him this year. He's walked just 2 in 10 1/3 innings pitched, but he's got an ERA up above 10, so that's not exactly what you want to see from him. Rylan Bannon and Tyler Nevin struggling a little bit at Norfolk. That whole team really is. Kyle Stowers, if you go down to high A, Aberdeen, he is slashing 283, 443, 467, so another OPS up above 900. That's exciting for Stowers, walking a lot. Anthony Servideo, a very interesting slash line. This is one of my personal favorites. He's only hitting 239, but his on-base percentage is 507. He walks like nobody's business. He has 25 already on the year to lead the entire minor league circuit. A few steals for him as well. Daryl Hernandez at low A, Delmarva, on-base percentage 305. Not great, but off to a decent start this year. And Joey Ortiz, who just jumped into the Orioles top 30 prospects with the graduation of Dean Kramer, he is slashing 297, 395, 453. He has 8 extra base hits on the year as well as a few steals. Some more names to keep an eye on. There's a lot of guys, and you can go to my thread at Orioles Fan Probs with a Z if you'd like to. I laid out some guys who are off to good starts. Johnny Reiser, Jordan Cannon, J.D. Mundy, Patrick Dorian, J.C. Escara, to name a few bats. Marcos Diplan at AAA Norfolk has been one of the few bright spots in that pitching rotation. Nick Vesvy's pitching very well at AA. Blaine Knight doing the same at high A, and some more names to look into there. But like I said, I'm not going to go through and I kind of just did, but I'm not going to list every name on that list. But I do want to scroll through some of these comments because I am doing the show by myself, and I don't think I'm a very good talker all alone. So let's go ahead and dive through some of these. We've got props for the Jonathan Scope shirt. He's on the Tigers now, so I'm not really repping his current team, but Scope actually playing first base for the Tigers. I had on MLB Network a little bit earlier, and I saw him at first base. So he's gotten a few starts there with Miguel Cabrera not able to play the field quite as often. So shout out Jonathan Scope, one of my all-time personal favorite Orioles. Meant a lot to me in that stretch when the Orioles were good. Let's see here. Oh, this is a fun one. I wanted to talk about this because I personally am not a fan of bunting in general, unless you're Cedric Mullins and you're going to get a hit most of the time. Based on Austin Hayes' history, I do genuinely believe that there is something bothering him with that hamstring. I don't think he sat out tonight purely because of the bunt, but I have to say I loved Brandon Hyde's comments after the game, where I don't want to say he threw Austin under the bus, but he said that the bunt was Austin's decision. And this is about, for those of you who don't know, Hayes with a sacrifice bunt in the 9th inning, down by a run, with no outs and a runner on first in the 9th inning the other day at Nats Park. I didn't like the bunt personally. Brandon Hyde clearly did not either. He was very vocal about that in his post-game comments. I'm not sure he's in the doghouse. I mean, obviously Hyde didn't like it, and he mentioned that, but I do think he probably does have a little bit of a hamstring issue going on, purely because that's the Austin Hayes we know and love. He's always a little bit banged up. But I didn't like the bunt. I'm glad Brandon Hyde said that it's not going to happen again. I mean, I will give Austin a little bit of credit. It did look like it may have been an attempt at a bunt at a base hit, which, okay, I guess that's fine. It was a left-handed pitcher on the mound, falling off to the third base side. He bunted it up the first base side. It wasn't a bad bunt, but when you've got 3 outs left in the game and you need to score a run, put the ball in play, hit it, run the bases. I mean, the success rate on bunts and sacrifice bunts coming in to score is not very high. And look at what the Orioles have been doing with runners in scoring position recently. I don't know where you would have the confidence that the Orioles would be able to drive a run in from second with 1 out. Look at the game tonight. 4th inning, 5th inning, 6th inning. The Orioles get the leadoff runner on base. Nothing happens. Santander doubled to lead off the 6th inning. Stranded. If you can't drive in runners to scoring position, why bunt them into scoring position and sacrifice an out, especially with a guy like Austin Hayes, who is capable of driving a ball into the gap and maybe putting runners to second and third with nobody out instead of a runner on second with 1 out. So, yeah, I didn't like the bunt. Brandon Hyde didn't either, but I don't think he is in the doghouse. I think the elephant in the room, and I may be incorrect. I don't know. I don't know if I have something weird behind me. I'm in a new apartment. I'm still setting up my desk. I don't think there's anything weird. I got my Vin Scully microphone, Brooks Robinson, and Al Kaline. I don't think there's an elephant in this room, but there was a tweet that surfaced during the 8th inning, I guess, calling for Brandon Hyde's job. And I'm going to assume that that's what this comment is about. I don't know for sure. However, here's the thing. To an extent, I understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, we knew coming in Brandon Hyde's a placeholder for this team. We don't know. I shouldn't say that. We don't know for sure if he's going to be the manager of the next contending team. But with the roster that's presented to Brandon Hyde, what is he supposed to do? I mean, the team is bad. It doesn't fall back on the manager in this case. He hasn't lost the clubhouse. The players seem to respect him. The fans, I think, respect him for the most part. He tells it like it is, but he doesn't have good players to work with, and that's the problem. And I don't know how you can go out and say, "Oh, he's bad. He doesn't deserve to have a job." He's putting out Tanner Scott in the 8th inning of a 1-run game who can't throw strikes. Scott was great last year. This year he hasn't been able to throw strikes. Cesar Valdez got off to a great start this year. He's been getting hit around recently. I mean, Tyler Wells is a Rule 5 pick, never pitched above A ball before this season. The talent that he has to work with is not conducive to putting a winning team on the field. I don't know what you expect when the roster construction is one that puts you in a position to win 60 games in a good year. You know, so I don't think it's time for Hyde to go just yet. I think that, you know, whether or not he's around for the long haul is yet to be determined, but it's too early. If you take out last year, which really if you want to look at the timeline of the rebuild, okay, this is really year 2. It was after the 2018 season that the Orioles revamped the front office, completely redid everything. They brought in Mike Elias, Sig Mejdal. They redid the player development staff. They started investing in the international market, philosophically started participating, if you will. And I hope some of you get that reference. But it's been a complete overhaul of the staff. They introduced an analytics department. The Orioles didn't have an analytics department until Mike Elias and Sig Mejdal came in and started doing their thing. So if you take out last year, which no minor league season, you have an alternate training site where some guys get some work in. The major league team plays 60 games. I don't have a word for that. It doesn't matter to me. So 2019, 2021. This is the second serious year of the rebuild. And as far as I'm concerned, we're on schedule. I've already talked about the minor leagues. Those guys seem to be on track. And something that they're doing at the minor league level is working with these guys. The pitchers are pitching well. The hitters are hitting well. The ones who were expected to, and some that weren't on anybody's radar as a prospect until a hot start to the first 3 weeks of the season. So as I said, the roster construction is not conducive to success. Brandon Hyde's working with what he has, and I think so far he's done a good job. I see people talk about poor usage of the bullpen sometimes, pulling the starters a little bit too early. I mean, every starter aside from John Means has been bad, to put it lightly. And these guys can't get through the third time in the order with any type of success. And you've got to bring in guys. And the bullpen has been solid throughout the course of the year. They've faltered as of late. But overall, this season, the bullpen has been okay. Hyde has done pretty well with the people that he has, all things considered. Has anyone been to a game yet? I've been to 5 games and I'm 0-5, which makes sense considering the state of the Orioles right now. I went to a game at Yankee Stadium. We lost 7-0. Giancarlo Stanton hit a 471-foot bomb for a grand slam over my head. It was wonderful. I tried for 3 years to see him do that on the Marlins. He never did. And then we get to see a game at Yankee Stadium. And that was back in brighter days. The Orioles were 3-0 going into that game. So that was a lot of fun. I went to the Mariners doubleheader, got swept. I went to Red Sox game, the first home series, lost 14-9. And I was at the Rays game. We lost 13-6 last week. So Orioles not doing very well when I'm in attendance, 0-5 on the year. The atmosphere is fun. So capacity restrictions are being lifted. More fans will be allowed at these games. I don't think more fans will show up than what we're used to. But I personally, as much as I love a packed baseball stadium, I enjoy kind of having space to move around and do what I want to do. I'm a big proponent of going to games by myself. I think it's therapeutic. I really enjoy being able to follow my own schedule and move around and sit where I please and go get food when I want to go get food and just kind of sit and take in the atmosphere and mind my own business. I'm a big proponent of that. And if any of you are skeptical, go to a game by yourself. Trust me. Enjoy your own company. I cannot recommend it highly enough. I've done it dozens of times, and I promise it's not because I don't have friends. I have a few. I have a couple friends. I have a girlfriend now who's very happy to go to games with me, even though she doesn't really care about baseball. But I highly recommend going to games by myself. The atmosphere has been okay. A lot of, I was at the Rays game the other night, and fans were having some fun with Brett Phillips in center field, even after he hit a 3-run homer. But I think all in all, the fans kind of know what they're getting into when they go to an Orioles game. They don't expect to win. Obviously, it's disappointing to go pay for a game and sit down and be disappointed with a loss. But as far as I'm concerned, the atmosphere has been fine. Let's see. A lot of comments. Oh, this one's fun. I would take Geronimo Gil over Chance Cisco. First of all, Cisco starts with an S, but I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah, Cisco doesn't hit the ball hard at all. I was watching his at bat tonight. I only watched one of his at bats tonight. I was kind of focused on the game, kind of not. I was watching John Means pitch, but the offense didn't excite me too much. Cisco, his swing is just so lazy to me. He rolls over everything. He's not hitting the ball hard. When he makes solid contact, it's a weak line drive because there's no density, if you will, behind his swing, and it's frustrating for sure. Let's see. Oh, we got a question. Who will lead the team in total bases between Mancini and Mullins? At this point, I don't know how you can't go with Mancini. I think Mancini's going to have more extra base hits. But hey, I hope they battle it out till the end of the season. I don't want to see Mancini traded personally, but if the offer is right, I mean, it's what a rebuild is, and it would suck to see him go after everything he's been through and after all we've been through with Trey. But I personally hope he sticks around because he's a lot of fun to have on the team and on an absolute tear recently. So who will lead the team in total bases between the two of those? I would. My money right now is on Mancini, but we shall see. Valdez sucks. Want him out as closer. I can't say I agree with that. Who else do you put in his place? Valdez has been fine. He hasn't been great. He's been very good at times. He's been okay at times. But when you have a 36-year-old journeyman who comes in and is thrust into a closing role for a bad team, I mean, he's fine. You're not gonna get a trade chip in Cesar Valdez. And who else in the bullpen are you going to put in the back end? Valdez, in my opinion, has been fine. He's struggled as of late, but overall, I think he's been pretty solid. Let's see. Will Kramer get his first win of the season tomorrow? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, personally. I mean, unless the bats show up and Kramer is much better than we've seen him. No, I have no confidence going at we're against Jose Barrios. No, the bats aren't going to get going against Jose Barrios. I mean, I'd like to be more optimistic, trust me, I really would, but I just personally don't think he will. How is Ryan Ripken doing? What are his numbers in AAA? I don't have them in front of me. It would take me a minute to look up, and I'm not going to do that. But I do know enough to tell you that he has not been playing well enough to make my little watch list in my Twitter thread. I don't think Ripken is more than a AAA player. I'm not even sure he is a AAA player. Maybe I'm being too hard on the kid, but I've seen him play, and he doesn't stand out to me as someone who he doesn't have a good swing. He hits the ball hard, but it's a weird he swings like he just kind of stumbled into the batter's box and someone handed him a bat and was like, "Give this a try." And that's not I mean, I guess it's kind of knocking the kid, but I don't have a ton of faith in there. When is Harvey coming back? Shout out to my boy Nick. Thank you for tuning in. I believe I could have this wrong. I don't want to get my facts confused. I believe Harvey made a rehab start. I could be wrong. I hope he's coming back soon, but I think he's starting to work his way back. So maybe we'll see him, and maybe he's the guy who takes over for Valdez once he's healthy. You know, I could certainly see a world where Valdez is no longer the closer after a couple more weeks. And if Harvey's able to come back healthy, then maybe he's thrust into the role. But I think when Harvey first comes back, hopefully in the next few weeks, because he is on the 60-day IL, so I think he will be out. Well, actually, it's the end of May, so maybe soon. But yeah, I think we could see him in more of a middle inning, high leverage kind of role before he jumps in as closer. But we shall see. Mickey Giannis, 5 perfect innings in relief the other night. Got the loss because of the extra inning rule. Free runner on second. So that's, I mean, if you need an argument against the runner on second and extra innings rule, just look at what Mickey Giannis did the other night. 5 perfect innings. The winning run scored on I think it was a sac fly, ground out and a sac fly, something. He didn't give up a hit. He didn't give up a base runner, but he took the loss. 5 perfect innings and takes the loss. Why not bring him in as a starter? I mean, I guess it's worth a shot. I don't personally know too much about Mickey Giannis, aside from the fact that he is a knuckleballer and he had that dope video released in spring training where he threw that fluttering pitch that did not move and the camera. That was fantastic camera work, by the way. Shout out to whoever that was. But yeah, I mean, at this point, give him a shot. I don't think Zimmerman's ready. Kramer still needs some seasoning. I think perhaps a AAA. Matt Harvey's been all right, not good. Jorge Lopez has not been good, especially in the 5th inning. ERA, I think, pushing 30 in the 5th inning, which is not good. But yeah, I mean, why not? If he continues to pitch well at Norfolk, I could see the Orioles giving him a shot. Who are the all-stars? Personally, I think with their record, unless it gets massively better, they aren't getting more than the token one. I would have to agree with that. Some seem to think both Means and Trey will get it, and I'd agree if they were 500. Agree, disagree. I don't think that the team's record has an impact on the All-Stars. I think if you get to the All-Star break and Trey is still hitting the ball well, leads the league in RBI, and is continuing to hit, and I think Trey will get voted in by the fans as well. I mean, I don't see a world where the fans don't vote for someone like Trey Mancini, who's got a great story, and the entire baseball world seems to be behind him. And if Means is continuing to pitch as well as he has, I mean, he's in the Cy Young conversation. I don't know how he could not be an all-star. Mullins, I think, has tailed off just a little bit. I don't think he has the recognition across baseball just yet to make it to the all-star game. However, I think if the All-Star game was tomorrow, I think Means and Trey would both be there, and I don't think that's really a debate at this point. Now things can change over the next month, but we shall see. I'm running into my time here. Let's go ahead and do a couple more comments. Really like what I see from DL Hall. Me too. Like I said, he's still walking some guys, but a better rate than he has in the past. And the stuff is just dirty. I saw him pitch. I went to I went to a Bay Sox game a couple of weeks ago and saw the DL Hall Adley Rushman battery, which I hope we'll see at Camden Yards in the next year or two. I think he's going to be really good. The walks, I think, will continue to be a little bit of an issue for him, but if he can incrementally get a little better as the years progress, then you're working with a guy who has elite stuff, and you can't ask for much more than that in terms of development. One more I'll pull up here. Means his second innings pitched, fifth in ERA. Is there a chance he pulls off the King Felix Cy Young with around 11 wins? I think there's a shot. Felix did it. Jacob deGrom has done it with less than 14, 15 wins in a season. There's a lot of competition. I think if Garrett Cole continues pitching the way he has, and it's a competition between him and Means, I think Cole's going to get the nod. There are plenty of guys who are pitching well. Tyler Glasnow, I think, is going to be in the conversation. He was my pick before the season started. Not a great outing his last time out, but overall he's been very good. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a shot if he keeps his ERA under 2. I mean, I don't know how you can keep him out of the conversation. So yeah, there's certainly a chance he could do it. And speaking of King Felix, since he was mentioned in here, I'm so upset that we didn't get to see him pitch. I love me some Felix Hernandez, and I really wanted to see him get an opportunity here. And it's a shame that didn't happen, but that's a conversation for a different day. All right, so that's I'm over 30 minutes. I didn't think I was going to make it very far, but thank you all very much for commenting along. I did not expect this much engagement after pushing midnight on a loss where we had a rain delay and lost our 14th out of 16 games. So I can't thank you enough for helping me extend the show a little bit. Like I said at the beginning, I don't consider myself very good at doing this by myself. So the interaction with you guys certainly helps make things easier for me. So I do appreciate it, and certainly looking forward to the next one. Jose Barrios and Dean Kramer on the mound tomorrow. The Orioles will look to get back on track. I said earlier I'm not optimistic, but I'm going to be tuning in. I love Dean Kramer. I think he's got some refining to do, but I like what I've seen from him overall. I think the stuff is there. He just needs to learn how to attack hitters a little bit better. So we'll see if he's able to do that tomorrow. We'll see if the offense can give some run support. Offense had been good up until tonight, but we shall see. It really comes down to the pitching. So again, thank you all for tuning in. You can follow me at RyGuyBlake. It's on the name or on the screen. You can follow my Orioles account at OriolesFanProbs, PROBZ. That's where I posted my thread this morning of the performance of the top 30 prospects so far this season. And I think I listed about a dozen names after that of guys who were off to hot starts. So a lot to be excited about down on the farm. I hope to continue bringing you all good news in that regard. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you all very much. Make sure you're following Birdland Tonight on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at Birdland Sports on all of those platforms. It's been tough sledding, but hopefully we get back on track pretty soon. Go Orioles.